The following segment is part two of the discussion that I had recently with Rashad Jones-Jennings. So if you have not yet listened to or viewed part one, I encourage you to do so. In any case, here's part two, and I hope that you enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoy creating it. Thanks so much. Hello, everyone. This is Kris Fleming with Lender Chat, presented by KFP Investors. We would love to talk to you about your financing solutions for your investment real estate. We are a licensed mortgage brokerage working only with investment real estate and working in 38 states. Before I introduce you to today's esteemed guest, I want to tell you our disclaimer. As always, we are not attorneys, CPAs, or certified financial planners. We do not give legal, tax, economic, or investment advice. We disclaim all liability, and you should always consult with your own counsel, accountant, and financial advisors as to legal, tax, economic, and investment advice, which is particularly relevant with what we're going to talk about today. I'm very excited to introduce on Lender Chat Rashad Jones-Jennings, a friend of mine. He is the operator of PostPro Capital Group, and he's got some developing projects and experience underway, and he's going to tell us about what he's got going on.
Thanks for having me, Kris. So just to give a good background on myself for those of you who don't know me or haven't met me yet, my name is Rashad Jones-Jennings. I'm a retired professional basketball player. I played about 8 years professional, had a short stop with the Philadelphia 76ers, played in Europe, Asia, South America, pretty much all over the world. My entire 20s, I was just traveling the world playing basketball, and I was forced to retire at the age of 30 due to injury, and just figuring out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. For some reason, I chose real estate. I was always reading real estate books, even while I was still playing, and it just gravitated me towards, going into real estate. And it's funny because when I retired, I started going into the office, and I started out as a realtor, and I didn't do my first deal for 6 months.
Tell us about your project, Rashad.
We have 70 homes on 18 and a half acres. The one thing that I love about this deal is the ROI. And I've actually was doing something special because I just rolled out my $10 million fund for accredited investors. And for me, and being an athlete, I'm very big on momentum. So one of the things I did to get momentum into the fund to get everything going was I was offering a 20% preferred return. On the base level, it's 10%. But for the first $1 million into the fund, we'll do a side letter. And that 10% doesn't come from the bottom line of the investors. That comes off the GP side. So it's not like
Nice.
you feel it on your side. That comes off the GP side. So, with that, it's a 60-40 fund. And we're projecting a ROI of 79%, which is super good. And also, we're helping solving the housing shortage in Chattanooga. They're 5,000 units short, and that's sales and rentals. So either way, which we decide to go, which we're leaning more towards build and rent right now, we'll be solving some issues and helping out the community in the process.
If I
This right
may,
here.
if
Go
I
ahead.
may interject for folks who maybe don't necessarily immediately connect those dots, when you're talking about a shortage of housing in a community, a shortage of 5,000 units, you're talking about, supply and demand. And so when you're short that many units, what happens is that the rents just skyrocket. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like what you and I were growing up, it makes it more difficult for families to afford to stay together, to be together, to have a place to live. So, by supplying more housing to the area, you're not only improving the beauty of the area, you're not just beautifying, you're not just providing great food sources, but you're also helping people, helping families to be able to continue to live together, like you described in your story.
For sure, for sure. And the supply and demand thing is spot on because that's exactly what happens. When it's a shortage, prices go up. Now people are priced out. So once we balance that back out, when we level the playing field, we can, it'll bring it back to more affordable levels. But yeah, so this picture right here is me. I was actually in Jackson Hole, Wyoming on a mastermind retreat of real estate developers and investors. And I'm not going to bore you with what's in the, it just kind of tell you my story when we kind of got into that, a little bit earlier, but it just highlighted that I'm buying back Chattanooga and revitalizing the neighborhood that I grew up in.
I love it.
So 3 things that I love about this deal. I always, try to explain the deal and let them know why I love the deal and why I think it's a great deal to invest in. One is the prime location. We're 10 minutes from the airport, 15 minutes from downtown, and it's right next door to phase one of one of my projects where I'm building 42 luxury micro homes. So once that development is done, we'll pretty much set the comps for the rest of the street. In phase two, which is this deal that we're talking about, we'll already have comps on that same street. And when you talk about price per square foot, I mean these micro homes are selling in the mid to high twos, and they range anywhere from 520 up to 815 square feet. And I know what people might think when they talk about tiny houses, but this is not the tiny house that you see on TV.
It
We
is
have
not.
18 feet floor. Yeah, 18 feet floor to ceiling height. I fit in there comfortably. I'm 6'8", 300 pounds. So, I mean, if I can fit, anybody can fit. And, it just basically has all the essentials. So that's one reason why I love the location. Is one, because we pretty much control the entire street, so we can kind of write our own narrative there. Two, high ROI. It's projected 79% return on investment, and it's a strong opportunity for substantial growth and returns over the investment period. Housing solution. There's a need. Like I said, just because you can build doesn't mean that you should build. And there is a need for it in the city of Chattanooga, addressing the 5,000 unit shortage and, provide houses for families. So those are the 3 reasons why I love the deal. And I've done my due diligence. We got comps on that same street to support why I love the deal. Let's talk about Chattanooga a little bit. Outside of the fact that I'm from Chattanooga, I just think Chattanooga is one of those hidden gems that
I agree.
it's slowly like it's coming out of the box. But so we're on the
Mhm.
front end of a lot of development that's going in. I think we're in a great position to build a couple hundred houses over the next 24 months and solve a lot of issues. Chattanooga has growth, rising population, job growth, and low unemployment. There's 3 things that I look for when I go into a market. It's population growth, job growth, and what are the unemployment numbers? Do people have jobs? Can they afford what I'm building here? Can they afford the rent? So all of that is stuff that I do in my due diligence. Infrastructure. I don't know if you ever been to Chattanooga, but I think you should definitely try it. Man, we got everything. We hit the infrastructure lottery. We have bridges, tunnels, rivers, mountains, views. I mean, we got parks. We actually put in a petition to be dubbed a park city. So what the city of Chattanooga is doing is they're putting parks in every nook and cranny of the city of Chattanooga. So they want to be dubbed a park city. We already been dubbed gig city with the fastest internet in the world. We've done a $28 million upgrade at the airport, and as well as $20 million in road and bridge upgrades. So we're putting money into the infrastructure to attract more people. I mean, people from California are already moving there.
It's becoming a tech hub, right? Lots
Yeah,
of tech
right.
companies
Correct.
because of the internet capabilities of the city and the population growth there, as I recall reading, is particularly young because it's so many people in the tech field.
Correct. And like you said, Gig City. I read an article
Mhm.
about a couple months ago that dubbed us the next Austin, Texas. So if you don't know about Austin, Texas, it's one of the most expensive markets that you can invest in. So if they're saying Chattanooga is going to be the next Austin, some analysts is seeing the trend upwards in the rising costs and the rising prices and all the development and everybody coming here. So I think we're on the front end of that. Austin is pretty tapped, like it's reached its peak. It's one of the most expensive markets, but I think Chattanooga is pretty much on the front end. And if it does become the next Austin, imagine being on the front end. And then, when everything goes up, so that's equity for the investors. Also, the investment appeal, revitalization, like I said, with the airport, the bridges, and everything like that. The real estate boom, 46,000 units coming on market by 2044. It's a great, place for relocation. I see a lot of people from Cali moving here. That's why I love Chattanooga, outside of the fact that I'm from there, but I live in Atlanta as well. But Chattanooga is just a different vibe. Like I was down there, this right here is pretty much where I live. And, you'll see people rowing, canoeing. If you love the outdoors, rock climbing, like we got it.
I want to say too, regarding the infrastructure and the commitment from the local government, that when I had the opportunity to attend your community meeting about the development, that the transit authority was there as well, talking about the need for mass transit in your development, your project, once it's once there's and putting in new routes and new vehicles, and even working around one of the very small tunnels that's in the area and developing that mass transportation system, so that again, people don't even have to own a car, let alone get in a car in this walking community, biking community. The fact that they were there and that they were enthusiastic about working with the population of the project once it's completed really evidence to me the support that you have in developing this project.
Yeah, no, that was big having them there because with us bringing the amount of units that we're bringing to this side of town, and for it not to be a bus line that already runs over there, we're pretty much trying to solve a problem before it happens. So it's great. It was great to see them there at the meeting, and for them to be engaged and actually listen to our concerns, to have transit on that side of town. And I love the fact that they're behind it. So, we gotta, and it's gonna take more of that as well. It's gonna take more of that because in order for us to pull everything off that we want to pull off, it's gonna take some partnerships with the city, with these local businesses, the bus station and everything. So it's gonna take a group effort to really turn it around. Let's talk about the deal. And we'll get into the numbers on the next slide. So, like I said before, location, the micro is right next to the micro homes project. Right now, we're looking at 70 units, but don't forget, we just put in our rezoning application to get more density. And these numbers are based on build to sell. But if we get the rezoning to get higher density, we're going to keep it. It'll turn into build to rent. And I'll do another, webinar on, the projected cash flows and everything like that. But as of today, the ROI on this deal is 79%. Timeline from groundbreaking to completion. From the time we start construction, we're looking at 24 months. And that's with all the infrastructure in the ground, the roads, streets, curbs, and everything. So even before that 24-month period is up, we'll start moving people in because we'll be able to get COs, certificates of occupancy, for people to start moving in, even though we're still building. All you have to do is be an accredited investor. If you don't know what an accredited investor is, you either make $250,000 individually, $300,000 as a couple, married couple, or you have a $1 million net worth, not including your personal residence. So that will make you an accredited investor. So, we're talking about our deals. This is the slide that I pretty much spend the most time on. People want to see what are the numbers. The deal sounds great. We love Chattanooga. What do the numbers look like? So I purchased this land for $615,000. The total project cost to build are going to be around $17 million. The gross revenue is around $6.3 million, and the total sales will be around $23.5 million. if you're one of the first investors in a fund and you get that 20% preferred return, you're looking at a 79% ROI. And the way you get to that 79% ROI is, one, you got 20% preferred return day one. And then you get 60% of the equity split. With those numbers, that's going to be a strong return. We're going to be paying out upwards of $2.5 million in investor payouts, and the timeline of the deal is 24 months. So, this is going to be a great deal, and these are our projections. Kris, if you got anything you want to ask based on these numbers, feel free to let me know.
Now, I just want to echo that. Obviously, I'm excited because my business partner and I were some of the first investors that got to jump in with you in the acquisition of the land. So clearly, it's a project that we're excited about.
And I want to thank you too, because I couldn't have got it done without you all and your initial investment. So it's going to be great to see this coming to fruition, and just to be on a mission and get this thing built out. So I'm glad to have you on as an investor, and we're still raising capital, and if anyone else want to join in, we'll show you how you can do that on the next slide.
I love this picture. Looking so sharp with your gold shovel and your heavy equipment. This is awesome. I love it.
Thank you. This is me at my first development, and I took this picture, for marketing purposes, and it's just like, man, it just kind of embodies the transition, because I talk to a lot of athletes. Like that's one of my main investor bases, and I get a lot of people who ask me, man, how did you make the transition? But my answer is always, I started my transition before I was actually forced out, because one of the things is you don't know when it's going to be your last game. When I was going through these pre-draft camps and we was having these workshops, they would always tell us, man, every day you play, you're one day closer to retirement. And that stuck with me. Like sometimes, people have these speeches and we go to these workshops, but it's always something that resonates with you. And that was one thing that resonated with me, that every day you step on the court, you're one day closer to retirement. And I had never thought of it like that, because, when you're young and you think you're invincible until you're not. So I started reading books on the plane. I started reading real estate books. I just started listening to audios and, just feeding my mind and just figuring out what I was going to do once it was no more air left in the balls. This picture was a big transition for me, because as an athlete, I'm usually in sweats and sandals. Like that's because we get banged up so much. We want to be comfortable all the time. But so let's get back to why this deal. Strong housing demand, the appreciation potential over the next 5 to 10 years. If Chattanooga does become the next Austin, as we were dubbed in that article, I think it'll be great for everyone involved, especially once we start the build to rent and we hold it. An experienced team, track record of successful similar developments. I love my horizontal guys that does all my excavation work and my piping and everything. And we got experienced GC to do the vertical as well. So, the next thing that I love about this deal is early market entry. Like I said, with the Austin deal, Chattanooga's got room to grow. And even, I think, Kris, you said that a lot of the population is young. A lot of people are coming here with all that tech and everything. And I only see it getting better, because like I said, we hit the infrastructure lottery. And if we were more intentional on what we were building to bring more people in, to create more revenue, I think the sky's the limit for Chattanooga. So let's talk about investor benefits. When we talk about investing, I like to take the Amazon approach. Bezos always talk about, making sure the customer is taken care of. Well, in real estate, the way I run my business is the investor is the customer. My investors are taken care of. So then one of the main investor benefits on this deal is a 20% preferred return. That be a 10% preferred return will beat probably any investment instrument in the market. Now 20, we just basically doubled that. And on top of that, you're getting 6% of the equity in the deal. Long-term wealth, building wealth through real estate, getting those cash flow checks every quarter. That's one of the building blocks to wealth, residual income. So tax benefits. depreciation opportunities. We will definitely cost segregate this deal, and you'll be able to show that on your taxes. And once again, like I said, the equity stake, 6% of the project upside, which is once. And the thing about development and building, since we're building a lot of houses, our cost to build goes down because when we get these materials in bulk, we're paying less for the materials. So I'm one of those guys who looks at every line item on I thought I had one of my sheets here, but if you've ever seen a budget sheet, there's about 50 line items. Now, imagine if, and I do this all the time with my contractors, it's not that I'm trying to beat them down on price, it's negotiating the opportunity. So let's say I have 70 houses and my framer said, hey, Rashad, I'm gonna charge you $7,000 a house to frame. Boom. I say, okay, well, what if I give you all 70 of these houses? Could you do it for 6,500 a house? And he says, yes. So I just saved $500 on 70 houses. So I just saved 35,000. But keep in mind, that's just one line item. Imagine if I did that for plumbing, flooring, windows and doors, imagine, and all those cost savings goes back to the bottom line of my investors. So I'm very meticulous with the numbers when I'm underwriting the deals, as well as, when I'm pricing out subcontractors. So I think that's very important when you're talking about, these returns and maintaining these returns and staying under budget. God forbid ever going over budget. My main thing is to stay under budget. So those are some of the investor benefits, and I'll show you how you can invest. You go to the cash flow portal, you'll create an investor profile. And the good thing about cash flow portal is everything is tracked. So once you get into the portal, you'll know lifetime how much interest you've made, how many deals you've invested in. Like, it's so transparent and it's so in real time. I don't know how people have been taking investments before this software came out, but I'm pretty sure you probably kept it on an Excel sheet or something like that. But this makes it much more easier. It's much more cleaner. And like I said, everything is tracked. You can fund your investment and within 4 clicks, you can, if you're taking it as a sole proprietor, LLC, IRA, if you're taking it as a couple, however you want to do it, you can really fund your investment in 4 clicks. So the way it works is you sign up, you create a profile, you click on the deal that you want to invest in, you choose how you want to take your investment, you sign, I'll countersign, you'll be sent wiring instructions, I'll confirm that I received the wire, and we're in business. We'll have meetings every month with the equity investors, and we also send out a newsletter every month as well. And another thing about me that a lot of people may or may not know, I have about 700 videos on YouTube. I've always been documenting my process. So you could literally go to my YouTube and see your investment in real time as I'm on site, telling you what we're doing that day, that week, what we just did, the inspections that we have coming up. You will never be in the dark about your investment. You can watch YouTube. We'll have monthly meetings on video, and we'll have newsletters going out. So I think communication is key. I share the good, bad, and the ugly, but I'll never bring you bad news without a solution.
I like that. I'm a big fan of transparency. I also manage a private equity fund, and we have similar software just so that people never have to question what's happening with my money. There's no reason to be nervous. You can go right here and see it. And there's not that I have anything to hide, but there's no way I could hide it.
Okay, now that's great. And if anybody want to book a call, you can definitely book a call. I'll leave my Calendly link as well. And
sure.
If anybody got any questions about the deal, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. I want to echo to, we've been talking since the beginning of this conversation about the community impact of this project, the environmental impact of this project, the economic impact of this project. And so it's not every day that we have the opportunity to have positive impacts in all of those areas and also get to put our money to work for us. That you're absolutely right that building wealth, maintaining wealth, um, putting together that legacy is all about making your money work for you rather than you working for your money. So it's absolutely a delight to get to be part of this project and to continue to get to know you better and better. I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I did
Is
too.
As we wrap up, is there any final comments you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, I want to appreciate you having me on your podcast and talking to your audience and to your viewers. And like I said, if you got any questions on what I presented, or if you just want to talk about the deal or any other thing, you can reach out to me. Definitely check out the YouTube videos and check out the deal as well. And I always like my favorite slogan is on my wall behind me: find an excuse to win. We always are faced with obstacles. And, even when I was on the basketball court, I was always one of those people. We could be down 20 points in the fourth quarter. If I'm on the court, I'm trying to figure out a way to win. So that transition over into the business world. So what I want to leave, your audience is, no matter what's going on, no matter, what you feel like you're facing, always have this in your mind that you're going to find an excuse to win.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that is tremendous. Confidence and sometimes just faking it till you make it is key. Because a lot of us grow up as statistics, and there's no free lunch coming. You just got to go. You got to go kill it and drag it home and fix it yourself. So
Exactly. There is no free lunch coming, for sure.
no, you gotta go. You gotta go get it. And for entrepreneurs too, it's every single day we wake up and it's, hey, time to go save the company today. So
Yeah.
so thank you so much. Again, we will post that information in the video description so that people can get in touch with you. They can view your YouTube channel. And thank you so much for letting me participate and for agreeing to meet with me today. I really appreciate you.
All right, thanks for having me.